Okay, so we're looking at a question from the 2015 higher level Leaving Cert paper 1, and it involves a cubic equation. So we're asked to solve the equation x cubed minus 3x squared minus 9x plus 11 equals 0. Write any irrational solution in the form a plus b root c, where a, b and c are elements of z, which are the integers. So there's a hint for us straight off that we're going to have some irrational solutions to our cubic. Okay. So first of all, this is a cubic equation as it has x to the power of 3 in it. Okay, so the first step to solve a cubic equation is we try and find one solution. And the way to find that first solution is to look at the number at the end of the cubic. So in this equation here, the number at the end is the number 11. So what we do is we take the factors of 11, so that would be plus or minus 11 and plus or minus 1, and now we're going to test each of these factors in our cubic equation here to see if they give us a value of 0. So if one of these numbers is a solution to our cubic, when we sub it in for x, it should make the left hand side equal to 0. So for example, let's take x equals 1. So if we put 1 in wherever we see an x, so we're going to have 1 cubed minus 3 times 1 squared minus 9 times 1 plus 11. If we work that out, so 1 cubed is 1, 3 times 1 squared is minus 3, and minus 9 times 1 is minus 9, plus 11. So 1 minus 3 is minus 2, minus 9 is minus 11, plus 11 equals 0. So that tells us that x equals 1 is a solution to our cubic. Okay, so if x equals 1 is a solution, then the corresponding factor is x minus 1. So x minus 1 is a factor. And that's helpful because if we divide that factor into our cubic, it will give us a quadratic, which we can then factorize to get the following solutions. Okay, so if we start off our long algebraic division, so we're going to have x minus 1 dividing into x cubed minus 3x squared minus 9x plus 11. Okay, so we start off our long algebraic division by saying x divides into x cubed how many times? So x goes into x cubed x squared times. So we write x squared up here, and then we multiply our x squared by our factor. So x squared by x gives us x cubed, x squared by minus 1 gives us minus x squared. And then we draw a line underneath, and the important step here is that we change the signs. So this becomes minus x cubed, and this becomes plus x squared. So the x cubed minus the x cubed cancel, they give us 0, and then we have minus 3x squared plus x squared. That's going to give us minus 2x squared. We then bring down our minus 9x. Okay, and we start all over again. So what I mean by that is we go back to our x and we divide it into minus 2x squared. So x goes into minus 2x squared minus 2x times. We write it down up here, and then we take our minus 2x and we multiply it by our factor. So minus 2x by x gives us minus 2x squared, minus 2x by minus 1 gives us plus 2x. We draw a line beneath them, and again, important step, we change the signs. So this becomes a plus 2x squared, and this becomes a minus 2x. So again, our minus 2x squared plus 2x squared cancel, and our minus 9x minus 2x gives us minus 11x. We bring down our plus 11, and we start all over again. So we divide x into minus 11x, that goes minus 11 times. And then we take our minus 11 and we multiply it by our factor. So minus 11 by x gives minus 11x. And minus 11 by minus 1 gives plus 11. Again, we draw a line, and the important step, change the signs. This becomes plus, and this becomes minus. So we have minus 11x plus 11x, that cancels, and 11 minus 11, again that cancels, and we're left with 0. And that's how you know you've done the division correctly, when you get 0 at the bottom. So you shouldn't have any remainder. Okay, so now we're left with our quadratic x squared minus 2x minus 11. So we got this by dividing our factor x minus 1 into our cubic, and our resulting quadratic then helps us because if we factorize and solve this, we'll be able to find our two other solutions for our cubic. So if you recall, at the start of the question, we were asked to write any irrational solution in the form a plus b root c. And that's a hint that we're going to have some irrational solutions. So for our quadratic here, x squared minus 2x minus 11, we could try factorizing this using our guide number approach, but we won't be able to find factors. So we need our minus b formula, which you can find in your maths tables. So it's x equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So it's important to identify a, b, and c. So a is the number in front of the x squared in our quadratic, which in this case is 1. So we don't bother writing the 1, but there's always a 1 there. Okay. B is our number in front of our x, which is minus 2. Paying special attention to the minus sign here, we must include that. And c is the number at the end, which in this case is minus 11. So we're not going to have any x's in our minus b formula, just the numerical values. So now we're going to sub in our values. So minus 2 plus or minus the square root, so b squared is minus 2 to b squared minus 4 times 1 times minus 11. Okay, and that's all over 2a. You notice I'm using brackets, and I will use brackets whenever I sub values in, and they'll get rid of the brackets and continue on. And that helps me make sure that I get my signs correct and I don't make any mistakes when I'm subbing numbers in. Okay, so minus 2 is going to be plus 2, or just 2, plus or minus the square root of minus 2 to be squared is 4. So minus 2 multiplied by minus 2 gives us plus 4. And then we've got minus 4 multiplied by 1 multiplied by minus 11. So that's going to give us plus 44. All over 2. Okay, we can then simplify this. So 2 plus or minus the square root of 48. 2. So the square root of 48, you can work that out in your calculator. Okay, so then we have 2 4 root 3 over 2. Okay, that's going to give me 1 plus or minus 2 root 3. Okay, so I have my two solutions to my quadratic. So one solution is 1 plus 2 root 3, the second solution is 1 minus 2 root 3. So in total then, my solutions for my cubic are x equals 1, x equals 1 plus 2 root 3, and x equals 1 minus 2 root 3.